Is this episode over?
Well, you're asking about it, and I always say that if I were to drop dead, if I would drop dead right now, I would in my obituary it would be in the lead.
Yeah.
It would be in the first paragraph, and it's a very small part of my life, but it's I'm a realist, and it's what a lot of people know me about, and I still get my column runs in the Washington Post, and
right.
they put it on their webpage, and I shouldn't do this, but sometimes I look at the comments on the column, thinking that somebody might have an intelligent comment. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm a
need
hopeful.
to be taught about the internet.
I'm a hopeful person,
right?
And people are just talking about the Plame affair. I read a column about John McCain running for president, and they bring up the Plame affair. And my favorite was, I'm a big basketball fan. I'm a Maryland basketball fan, and I try to go to as many games at home and away as I could. And the most creative idiots are the fans at Duke University. And I went to a Duke. I went to a Duke game 2 years ago, and this kid had this big sign up, and there's two pictures on the sign. One picture of me, and the other of Benedict Arnold, and the caption is "Two traitors." So that's all off the Plame affair.
What question have you been asked the most about it?
The most I've asked
you've been asked.
If I had to do over again, would I still do it? And I answer that question, or I pose that question at the end of the first chapter in the book, and you'll have to read the book to find out.
Well, but I think the point that you make, and yes, that you go into it much more in the book, but I think the point that you make is that you didn't know what you were doing when you did it.
Oh, I never expected any of this to happen, and it wasn't a boy. I got a huge decision here. It was when the Deputy Secretary of State tells me something and indicates clearly he thinks I'm going to write it. I don't think that he is giving me the crown jewels, but it is really hard to go back and say, boy. I mean, I think it was a legitimate story, and there was nothing wrong with writing it. We can debate that for a long time, and I'm sure you don't want to.
Will.
The question is, would I have taken all the misery I had and the legal expenses and the difficulties and all that? Would I have just for this little thing in the story? Would I have still written that? I don't know.
If somebody asked you to go on the road with Valerie Plame and do a little gig together, would you be game for that?
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
There is some people say that there's a price for everything, but there's some things that there's no price for.
The price is too high. I think one of the really interesting things about you that some people may know, may not, but that you did change your faith.
That's right.
Along the way, and that's not young, but late in life.
Yeah, a lot of people got the impression that one day I walked out of the synagogue into the Catholic Church, which is not quite the case. I was bar mitzvahed and at the age of 13, and when I entered college at the age of 17, I decided I was an agnostic, and so I left the Jewish religion at the age of 17, and I became a Catholic at the age of 63. So it wasn't there was a little bit of a gap in there.
Yeah. What did it feel like to have no faith?
I think it was a lack and a failing. I don't think I realized it. If I had realized it, I probably would have corrected it. But I think people say, well, why did you suddenly do it? And I say it was. I think I was touched by the Holy Spirit, and if you're not a Catholic, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. Well, and even if you are a Catholic, you may not know what I'm talking about. But,
well, everybody gets touched in their own unique way.
That's right.
But has it changed your life?
I think it's changed my inner life, the way I regard things. I think.
Did it change your journalism?
No, it didn't change my journalism. But only to this extent. My my patron saint. You're able to. Are you a Catholic?
No.
Okay. You get the picture.
I hesitated because my mother was, and I never know if that means that I actually really am.
No. If you pick your own patron saint, and I picked Thomas More as my patron saint, and I do my writing in 3 different places. I have an office at 1750 Pennsylvania, and I have my condo is on farther up the Pennsylvania Avenue, and then we have a second home on
I hope in Pennsylvania.
Pardon?
No, I was going to say I hope in Pennsylvania.
No,
I was just making a bad joke.
Pennsylvania, no, in Delaware, on the ocean. And in each, I have a little office in each place, and on each desk, there's a picture, same picture of Thomas More. And so all the time I'm writing was writing last night.
In each other's eyes?
Yeah, and I always look at him, and I kind of think sometimes, what in the world would he write about this?
Yeah.
Because he was a very interesting man. He was Chancellor of England, and most powerful political job in the country, and he wore a hair shirt underneath his robes because he was an ascetic as well, and of course for his faith he went to the block and was executed, and
what are you telling us? No,
well, nobody's executed me yet, or threatened to.
In little bits.
But I try to think of what a kind of a person he was when he was. I think I read about it in the book when he was when he was waiting his execution. His successor as Chancellor, Thomas Cromwell, visited him in the Tower in London, and he said, if you will go along with the king on his divorce and remarriage and the separation from the Church of Rome, you not only will save your life, you can have all your power. And he said, I've set aside all pretensions to power. All I'm interested in now is the Passion of Christ. And I would wonder how many politicians today, not giving up their, not being severed at the neck,
you're not asking for that.
but it would give up anything for that. So, so in that sense, being a Catholic, I think I try to. I don't know if I succeed. I try to think of.
But now we know who's in your head while you're writing.
That's right.
In the little bit of time we have left, what story are we missing while we're paying so much attention to this campaign?
Oh,
I mean, that you think matters.
I think a big story that's coming up is I think there's a very good chance that we're going to have a Democratic Congress and a Democratic president elected, and so there'll be no problem in getting almost anything they want. And I think it's a question of the redistribution of income through the tax system, and is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What's it going to do to the country? What's it going to do to the economy? And I write about it sometimes, not as much as I should, because people get bored with it. But most people don't write about it at all. Yeah. Charlie Rangel has got a proposal out that's just a massive redistribution of income, putting about $1 trillion through the whole system from one person's hand to the other, and maybe kind of continue to change what kind of country we are. I think that's a big story.
Do you think that if this happens, do you think that if we get this Democratic president, Democratic Congress, that they'll end the war?
You mean get the troops out of Iraq?
Yeah. Home, done, finished.
Not immediately, but the troops are going to get out of there. As you may know, as a lot of people don't realize, I was against the invasion of Iraq.
I've gathered that Ron Paul's your
That's why
candidate.
I'm George W. Bush's. I'm not his favorite pinup boy, and I think it was a mistake to go in there, but we're going to get out one way or another, and but it's once you're in, it's hard to get out. So that is the point. You can have Bill Richardson and Ron Paul and Dennis Kucinich said, we're going to get out tomorrow, but they can't get out tomorrow.
Right. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
We're going to run around and sign and sell some books. I thank you all. I hope you'll sign up for Denise Austin next week. And again, thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you.